Hey guys, I am back with a new video, and this time we'll be seeing a new and a very important act in business law, the Companies Act 2013. This will be a series of videos, and today we will be seeing a brief introduction about what is Companies Act, objectives of the act, and characteristics of a company. So let's begin. First, let's talk about the origin of the Act. The earliest piece of legislation in India relating to the Companies Act was made in the year 1857, followed by recommendations from the year 1866 to 1950. In the year 1950, a company law committee was set up, and in the year 1956, we got a new Company Act, that is the Companies Act 1956. Later, in 2008, changes were passed in the Lok Sabha. In 2012, changes were passed by Lok Sabha on 18th of December. And in the year 2013, 8th of August, the same changes were passed by Rajya Sabha, and the new Company Act, that is the Companies Act 2013, came into force. And this is the act which we are going to study today. Section 1. Short title: Extent, Commencement and Application of the Act. An act made to consolidate and amend the law relating to the companies may be called as the Companies Act 2013, and it extends to whole of India and came into existence from the year 2013. Before we see the provisions of the company law, let's see the first definition of the word company. The word company is derived from the Latin word cum plus panis. Cum means with or together, panis means bread, and it originally referred to as an association of persons who took their meal together. In the leisurely past, merchants took advantage of festive gatherings to discuss business matters. Nowadays, the business matters have become more complicated and cannot be discussed at festive gatherings. Therefore, the company form of organization has assumed greater importance. It denotes a joint stock enterprise in which the capital is contributed by several people. Thus, in popular parlance, a company denotes an association of like-minded persons formed for the purpose of carrying on some business or undertaking. A company is a corporate body and a legal person having status and personality distinct and separate from the members constituting it. Section 2, subsection 20 defines a company as: a company is an association of both natural and artificial persons and is incorporated under the existing law of a country. In terms of the Companies Act 2013, a company means a company incorporated under this act or under any previous company law. That means a company which is registered under the Companies Act 2013 or under the previous Company Act of 1956 or 1913 or 1882 or so on. The company is used to denote an association of persons who have associated together to conduct or to carry on a business plan. Let's see why was there a need to form an act, that is the objectives of the act: to promote the development of the economy, to encourage transparency and accountability, to promote high standards of corporate governance, to recognize new concepts and procedures to support businesses with protecting the stakeholders' interests, to enforce stricter actions against fraud and non-compliance with company law provisions. A company is not merely a legal institution, it is rather a legal device for the attainment of the social and economic end. It is therefore a combined political, social, economic and legal institution. It is an association of many persons who contribute money or money's worth to common stock and employ it in some trade or business and who share the profit and loss arising therefrom. The persons who contribute in it or form it or to whom it belongs are members, and the proportion of capital to which each member is entitled is his shares. The shares are always transferable, although the right to transfer them may be restricted. From the foregoing discussion, it is clear that a company has its own corporate and legal personality, distinct, which is separate from its members. A brief description of the various attributes we will see it now, and to explain the nature and characteristics of the company as a corporate body. Characteristics of a company are separate legal entity, artificial person, perpetual succession, limited liability, common seal, transferability of shares, capacity to sue, company is not a citizen. These are some of the major characteristic attributes of a company, and we will see them one by one. Separate legal entity. The outstanding feature of a company is its independent corporate existence. A company before the law is a person. It is regarded as an entity separate from its members. A company is regarded by the law as a separate legal entity or a separate legal person, as an entity separate from its owners, the directors and the shareholders. It owns property in its own right, and its property is not the property of directors, shareholders or members. By incorporation under the Act, the company is vested with a corporate personality which is distinct from the members who compose it. No one can say that he is the owner of the company. Now, the business belongs to an institution. Thus, a company continues to exist even if the members go on changing from time to time. It has its own separate seal, separate assets from that of its members, can sue and be sued exclusively for its own purpose. The law recognizes the existence of the company quite irrespective of its motives, intention, schemes or conduct of the individual shareholders. Artificial person. A company is a creation of law and is sometimes called as an artificial person. It does not take birth like natural person but comes into existence through law. But a company enjoys all the rights of a natural person. It has the right to enter into contracts and own property. It can sue others and be sued. Perpetual succession. An incorporated company never dies, as it is an entity with perpetual succession. For understanding this point more clearly, let's assume M, N and O are the only members of a company, for say example XYZ, holding all its shares. Their shares may be transferred to or inherited to P, Q or R, who may therefore become the new members and members of the company, as they are now the shareholders of the company. But the company will remain the same, though the members have now changed. First they were M, N and O, but now they are P, Q and R. Though the members have changed, but the company will remain the same entity, with same name, with same privileges and immunities, with same properties and assets. The life of a company is not related with the life of its members. Law creates the company and dissolves it. The death, insolvency or transfer of shares of members does not in any way affect the existence of a company. In the case of company, it may be said that the members may come and members may go, but the company goes on. The next character is limited liability. A company having its own separate legal entity is the owner of its own assets and bound by its liabilities. Members are neither the owner nor liable for its debts. All the debts of a company are to be paid by itself rather than by its members. So this is one of the main character of a company. A company may be a company limited by shares, where the liability of the members is limited to the unpaid value of the shares, or the company can be limited by guarantee, where the liability of members is limited to such amount as the members may undertake to contribute to the assets of the company in the event of its being wound up, that is when the company may close, or the liability can be unlimited as the members of the company may decide. Limited liability is a principal advantage of doing business under a corporate form of organization. Common seal. A company becomes a legal entity by perpetual succession and also by a common seal. In fact, a common seal of a company is a symbol of its incorporation. It is considered as the official signature of the company. The name of the company must be engraved on the common seal. A document not bearing the common seal of a company is not authenticated and has no legal importance. Thus, a company, for its existence, must have a common seal with it. Transferability of shares. Section 44 of the Companies Act declares that the shares or debentures or any other interest of any member in a company shall be a movable property that can be transferred in the manner provided in the articles of the company. Thus, the incorporation of a company allows its members to sell their shares in an open market and to get back his investment without any hassle of or withdrawing money from the company. A shareholder can transfer his shares to any person without the consent of other members. Under the Articles of Association, this is a document that a company makes before its incorporation. We will see about this document in our next videos, but for the time being, a company can put certain restriction on the transfer of shares, but it cannot altogether stop it. That means if a company wants to put some restriction, it has to be mentioned in the Articles of Association. This unique feature of incorporation provides liquidity to the investor and stability to the company because, on the other hand, in a partnership firm, partners can't sell their share in an open market and a company can. So, this is a very beneficial characteristic of an incorporated company. Capacity to sue and be sued. Being a body corporate, company possesses individual capacity being sued and suing others in its own name. A company's right to sue arises when some loss is caused to the company, that is the property or personality of the company. A company also has a right to sue whenever any defamatory material published about it that may affect its business. The criminal complaint can be filed by a company, but as it is an artificial person, it must be represented by a natural person, that means the directors, shareholders or members of the company. And lastly, let's discuss about the company not a citizen. According to Citizenship Act 1955, only a natural person can be a citizen of India. Not a juristic person will be considered as citizen, same stated by the Supreme Court in the case of the Trade Trading Corporation of India Limited versus the Commercial Tax Officer. So, a company cannot be stated as a citizen, though it is a natural person, but he or the company or the institute cannot enjoy the rights which an Indian citizen have. Even though the company does not get the citizenship status of a country, it still gets a residential status under this. So, if a company is incorporated under the Companies Act 2013, it is termed as an artificial person. It comes with a perpetual succession. It has its own common seal. It has various rights of transferring its shares and so on. But the company cannot be termed as a citizen, but has its residential status as an Indian company. So this was a brief overview of the Act with definition, meaning and characteristics of a company. In our next video, we will be seeing types of company. So do stay tuned. Thank you. Please do like, share and comment to my channel.